about refrigerator Perry and just how hard he hit. And my mama told me homecoming games are the best on the banks of those late fall, late cartwheel sunsets. I wanted to be just like Jeff Davis when I grew up, tackling Seminoles and Bulldogs, playing football in the mud. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. I feel really sorry for our sisters to the south, 'cause they come up here every other year and get punched in the mouth. Oh, and every home Saturday, it gives us the chills to watch those boys in orange run together down that hill. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Oh, somewhere up in heaven, Gaines Adams makes a sack, and that old Banks McFadden is the best damn running back. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Everybody, damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Friday to everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Normally, I don't do a stream on Friday, but I have the house to myself for like another hour, which there's two options. I could run around the house naked, which nobody wants to see that, or I could do a stream. Chose to do a stream. Plus, I am abnormally irritated today. What am I irritated with? You ask? I'm irritated with North Carolina State fans. This is the reason I'm not on Facebook, okay, for a reason. I do have a Twitter account. I do like going on Twitter and reading some stuff on Twitter. And, of course, I post stuff on Twitter, too. And, by the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, follow me at Pete Pigskin. It's my Twitter handle. I post all kinds of crazy stuff on there. Anyway, Twitter makes me crazy. Social media in general makes me crazy. NC State fans, they're drinking the same Kool-Aid that the Gamecock fans drink every single year, thinking that they're good. Now, I've gone out of my way since the offseason to give these guys props and say this is the toughest game on their schedule every year for in the recent years for Clemson. And this week, this is the biggest game that Clemson has. But these jokers are taking this delusion to a whole new level. They actually think that they're good. Let's look at who NC State has beat so far this year. James Madison, Georgia State. Wait, what is that? West Virginia? No, they canceled West Virginia. They were the only school in the Carolinas that canceled their game the week of the hurricane. Well, South Carolina did too. Big shocker there. The only good win they would have had on their schedule is West Virginia, but they canceled that one. And it's not getting rescheduled either. Otherwise, North Carolina State would probably lose that one. I can't even read my own handwriting here. Who the hell is that? Marshall. Look like Michael. I'm like, there's no team called Michael. Marshall, another great win for NC State there. Then they beat Virginia, who is decent but not good. Let's not kid ourselves. And then Boston College. So they're 5-0 and ranked in the top. What are they? Ranked 16. These people, these fans, these are the worst fans in the ACC. It's official. Florida State fans, Miami fans, they used to hold that crown. No. At least they've won something in the past decade. NC State is a garbage can program. Dave Dorian is the biggest joke in all of the ACC. This guy blames losses. I mean, last year he blamed losses on a social media poster on the sideline. A student posting social media tweets. A tweeter? What's he going to blame it on this year when they get curb stomped by Clemson? These fans on social media, not even just the fans. The players are guaranteeing a win this Saturday against Clemson in Death Valley. The players, the defense, hell, the quarterback. NC State has lost like 6 in a row. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong here. 5, 6, might even be more than that in a row to Clemson. They had one game where they came within a field goal, and now they think that they're on Clemson's level or something. These people have lost their mind, and I'm so sick of reading their fans on Twitter, not Facebook, Twitter, guaranteeing wins. Clemson's overrated. NC State's the real best team in the ACC. Since when? Does anybody take NC State seriously? I know I go around and beat my chest about the ACC 10 months out of the year, but for the past 2 months, I've stopped doing that. You want to know why? Because the ACC outside of Clemson is terrible. Terrible. This might be the best win in a terrible conference we've had all year, but if you're an NC State fan and you want to come down to Death Valley, Clemson this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. to watch your team get curb stomped, skull drag, and embarrassed, I'll give you a free ride. Hit me up on Twitter. I'll Uber your ass to the game if you want. Hold on a second. I'll get to your comments here in a second. Let's all look at the let's all take a look at the NC State fan base. This is what they look like. Pretty sure that fat guy right there with his shirt off is the guy that's been tweeting me. Let's see who's in the chat here. Sorry, I completely forgot about the chat. First of all, I was a couple minutes late getting on the stream. I'm in an irritated mood if you haven't noticed. Not because of NC State fans only, but before I was about to start the stream at 4 p.m. and my doorbell rang, and it was the UPS guy who I've been trying to track down for the past 7 days, and he wants to argue with me. Got an argument with the UPS guy who just pushed me right over the edge. So if you're watching, UPS guy, thank you, sir, for getting me irritated. Mark Dudley, good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the stream. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic, unlike the UPS guy. A Pack Fan 12, good afternoon, sir. Tiger Nate, Billy Dawson, Air Max the Legend Killer. Air Max the Legend Killer, I haven't seen you here in a while, sir. How you doing? Prince 6'1", my man. Eric Morgan, how you doing, sir? He says, how is everyone doing today? It's Friday. I'm about to. I think I'm gonna start. Should I start drinking? That might calm me down. I normally don't want to drink right now, but I'm seriously considering it. Who else in here? I think I already said Tiger Nate. The Volunteer Roadshow Catfish is in the house. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the stream. He said I bought an expensive cigar for the victory celebration tomorrow. You might want to go ahead and smoke that now. I doubt you're going to be seeing a victory celebration this week. But hey, you never know, sir. I mean, you never know. SEC Dog, good afternoon, sir. Mark Dudley, my man, in the house. To beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. Yes, it's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Let me see. I'm trying to scroll back here, fellas, ladies and gents. If there is any ladies in here, I don't know. If there's any NC, has anybody ever met an NC State fan? By the way, I mean, do you know one? Have you met one? Did you bump into one at the grocery store with an NC State hat on? I didn't. Hell, I live a state away from them. I never seen one of them. They don't come out till Clemson week. Richard Neal, good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the stream. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. Otherwise, you would not be here. Nick Bro, how you doing, sir? Trying to just make sure I get everybody here before I get into my spiel. I really don't have a spiel. I don't have anything planned because I didn't really plan on doing a stream today. My only plan was to give you my feelings on NC State because I've been way too nice to these jokers over the past couple of months. But that's about to end right now. No, it's not about to end. It already has ended. Eric Morgan, good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the stream. Christian Ballard, how you doing, sir? All right, I think I got everybody there. All right. So the line on this Clemson and NC State game, I think it's all the way at 16.5 now. It was 16. I said out of trying to be completely objective that I thought that Clemson would not cover the spread but still win the game. I've changed my mind. Put your money on Clemson. I think Clemson will win by 3 touchdowns at least. And the reason I think that is because we're coming off a bye week. NC State has a great quarterback, Ryan Finley. But that's all they got. They got a couple of good receivers too. Now, if you watch Dabo Swinney and the Clemson players, and they talk about NC State, they do like they do at every single press conference. They're politically correct, and they give props to the other team and say, "Oh, they're great at this, they're great at that, they're really big up front, they're really skillful." Blah 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 blah. Well, I don't play for NC State, so I don't have to do that crap. The reality of the situation is NC State does not stack up to Clemson. NC State has not played a single person with a winning record against a Power 5 program all year. And they're coming to the Valley. And Clemson's pissed. And Clemson has something to prove. And these players, I don't know why, if I was the coach of NC State, Dave Dorian, I'd be telling my players, don't go into the media and start guaranteeing wins against the second best football program in all of America. Because you don't poke a tiger. You don't poke the sleeping giant. I mean, these kids are stupid. I hope Clemson beats them by 50 points and embarrasses them. I hope Travis Etienne runs for 500 yards and 50 touchdowns. If that's possible, which is not. What's up, Clemson Owns? Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the stream. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. Otherwise, you would not be here. It's one thing when teams that are good historically, if we're playing against Florida State or Ohio State or hell, I mean, a good team, a good program, and they're saying stuff like this, I get that. But NC State? I mean, it's one thing to just have banter between fans. Oh, we're going to kick your ass this weekend. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, we're going to take you down. But these morons actually believe it. These morons actually believe that they're better than Clemson. They're not even trolling. They're not even Dennis Wilson trolling. See what you guys are talking about in the comment section. I'm gonna get a beer. Anybody want a beer? What time is it? It's 4. As soon as I looked at my clock, it's 4:20. So anybody who's into the 420 thing, go ahead and participate in that. I'm gonna participate in the 420 beer Friday beer. Excuse me, 1 second. Anybody want one? Prince, Tiger Nate, Clemson Jacob, Herbert, Eric. Shit. Sorry. Been one of those days. What's up, Ace Outlaw? How you doing, sir? Okay, so I'm done. I'm done with NC State. And unless anybody has any questions, I mean, does anybody have any questions? Feel free to ask. But the other game I want to talk about that I haven't really talked about this week, we've gone over Ohio State and Purdue. We've talked about Michigan State at length. But the other really big game this week is Florida and Georgia. The world's largest outdoor cocktail party is what they call it, right? The Lord's largest outdoor trailer park tailgate is what I call it, since it's in the state of Florida. Where are my Georgia fans at? Trying to think of who's in here. Nick Bro, definitely a Georgia fan there. Nick Bro, are you worried about the game this week? Oh, it's next week. Maybe that's why I haven't talked about it. Well, let's talk about it anyway. Fuck it. Excuse my French. Nick, bro, you worried about the game next week? Who does Georgia's on a bye this week. Who does Florida play this week? Or are they on a bye too? They're probably on a bye too. Pete, that was a stereotype for Floridians. I've been to Florida a million times, sir. That's not a stereotype. There's a big difference between stereotypes and facts. And the fact is, there's more trailer parks per square mile in the state of Florida than anywhere in the world, probably. Not just in the continental U.S. I mean, have you been there? I mean, you can't throw a rock without hitting a trailer over there. I mean, unless you're at Disney World. If you're at Disney World, you can't throw a rock without hitting a pedophile. That's a whole different story for another day, though. We won't talk about that. If Jake Fromm starts, I will be worried. Well, you should be worried because he's going to start. Yeah, so you live in Florida, so you know. You know. You see? That's not a stereotype. You're confirming my my stereotype right now. SEC Dog, Gator fans are talking trash everywhere. I work in Jacksonville and live in South Georgia. Of course they're talking trash. I mean, that's to be expected. I mean, if I were a Georgia fan, I'd be a little bit worried about the game. Now, here's the So, I think Georgia's better than Florida. I'll start there. But we all know the better team does not always win. So the reason I'd be worried if I was a Georgia fan, first of all, if I was a Georgia fan, I'd be so against this neutral site game in Jacksonville every year. It's not a neutral site. Can we all just come to the realization that the world's largest trailer park tailgate is not a neutral site game? It's in Jacksonville. Yes. I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly how many miles it is from UGA compared to where, to the campus in Gainesville. I can almost guarantee you it's closer to Gainesville. But there is one thing I do know, even though I'm not a genius and did not go to Harvard. The game is in the state of Florida. Is anybody disputing that? Somebody tell me that I'm wrong about that too. Please. So if the game's in the state of Florida, it's closer it's closer to Gainesville than it is to Athens. It's a home game for Florida. Let's stop pretending that it's not. Now, yes, a lot of Georgia fans make their way there and they'll be well represented, but it's still a road game for Georgia. It's still a travel game for Georgia. It's not a travel game for Florida. And this needs to stop. Comic Dude 45. Did I go to Clemson? No, I did not go to Clemson, sir. I don't really want to go through this whole thing again. No offense. I did an entire video on the whole thing about me and Clemson. No, I didn't. Last year was 75% Georgia fans there. Well, maybe because last year Florida was dumpster juice, and I mean they gave up on their season, and Georgia was undefeated when they played Florida last year. That's probably one reason for that. You're not going to see that this year. I can pretty much guarantee you that. I'm not saying, SEC Dog, I'm not saying that it's not going to be like a 50-50 split, Georgia to Florida. I'm sure they sell 50% Georgia tickets, 50% Florida tickets, like they do every other neutral site game. That's just the standard practice that they do in those games, especially for one that's that well known and they play every year. And it's a whole big deal, but it's still more of an away game for Georgia, for the players, maybe not for the fans, maybe not for the fan representation. It's still more of an away game for Georgia than it is for Florida. And I think it's still a slight favor in the favor of Florida for that reason. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely off base and I don't know what I'm talking about. But let me ask you this way. Would you rather have this game in Jacksonville every year, or would you rather have it in Gainesville one year and then in Athens another year? That's the best way to ask it. Yeah, see, here we go. 360 miles for Georgia to 70 miles. 70 miles, I mean, like, that's less than an hour away on the interstate. An hour at the most. So it's not even close. Let me show you my math skills. So 7... right? If you drop the zeros, I'm going to show you how good I am at math. You're going to be very impressed. If you drop the zeros, how many times does 7 go into 36? 5 times. A little over 5 times. So the answer to that question is Athens is 5 times as far away from that game as the Gainesville campus is. You see how I did that? I didn't even have to count on my fingers. Hell, I could have easily graduated from NC State. A Pac fan 12. I think NU will win, but Rutgers winning would be a nice surprise. You talking about Nebraska? Yeah, Nebraska's favored for the first time this year. I don't know why they're a team that has 0 wins would be favored. What's up, David in Atlanta? How you doing, sir? Good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. Otherwise, you would not be here. Clem Tiger. Man, everybody's showing up today. Clem Tiger is a genius. He's a genius. Kevin Glacy, good afternoon, sir. Clem Tiger is a genius. Me and Clem Tiger might be the only 2 people in all of America who are not buying into the Michigan hype. Sorry, Mark Dudley. I'm not buying into it either. I'm at this point, I'm not buying into the Ohio State hype either. Now, Ohio State's undefeated, and they're what are they in the meaningless AP poll, number 2 in the country? So I guess whatever. If you want to believe that they're as good as they say they are, then good for you. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that Michigan is not going to lose at least 1 more game, probably 2. I called before the season and said, I think Michigan is probably a 9-3 team. And I still think that. I'm going to stick by my guns and say that Michigan's still going to lose 2 more games. Michigan could easily lose to Penn State. And, of course, they could easily – they're on upset alert this weekend against Michigan State, and they could lose to Ohio State. So there's 3 games right there that they haven't played yet. I think they'll lose 2 of them. Well, at the very, very least, I think they'll lose 1 of them, which will give them 2 losses and put them out of the playoff conversation. So I'm not buying into Michigan either. I never did. I might be the last man standing, as they call it. But I'm not buying it. Beep, beep. Yeah, my watch. Richard Neals, he's got a hot take here. And I don't know how hot of a take that is. Richard Neal says he thinks Iowa's going to win the Big Ten West. So I know Wisconsin now has 2 losses. But they only have 1 Big Ten loss because one of their losses was to a non-Big Ten school, it was BYU. So what's Iowa's record right now? That would help me to determine whether I think that your statement is correct or not. Christopher Goodrich, Iowa fan in the house right here. So what's Iowa's record? David in Atlanta, why do you have Georgia and Florida in your title, Pete? Well, David, it's because I'm a complete moron, and I was ill-prepared today, and for some stupid reason that I cannot explain or make excuses for, I somehow thought that Georgia and Florida are playing this weekend, even though I knew that before. I mean, I haven't talked about Georgia and Florida all week because they're not playing. All of a sudden, when I came on today, I'm like, what are we going to talk about today? Let's talk about NC State. Well, I wanted to talk about NC State and Clemson because I had a lot to say about that. But and we'll talk about Florida and Georgia. Turns out they're not playing until next week because I'm an idiot. But I talked about it anyway. So that's why, sir. One loss to Wisconsin is what you're saying Iowa is. Oh, Tiger Nation. Thank you, sir. He says he just signed up for the Patreon page. So, yeah, I know. I am a genius. That reminds me. Thank you for that, sir. And you'll have to keep reminding me to let people know this. But there is a Patreon page link in the description here. For anybody who wants to support the show. Obviously, I'm not going to ask anybody to do anything they don't want to do. But if you want to support the show, sign up for Patreon, and you'll see. You can read clearly on there what the benefits are if you decide you want to do that. So thank you in advance for that, and thank you Tiger Nation, by the way, for that. And also, Billy Dawson was the first one to sign up for my Patreon page, so I want to give him a very special thank you. Billy Dawson has been very, very supportive of me ever since he found my channel, and I could say thank you 1,000 times to Billy, and it wouldn't be enough. But thank you. All right, so my glasses keep fogging up because I'm so angry that I'm sweating. So for all the people out there who are always constantly asking me to take my sunglasses off, now is your day. Today is the day that I ditch the glasses. So go ahead and relish it while you can. I'm tired of cleaning them off. What's up, college football maniac? Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the stream. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. Otherwise, you would not be here. He says, good afternoon, Pigskin Pete, Tiger Nation, Prince 6'1", 81 Clemson Tiger. He's just giving shout-outs. So thank you. Herbert Bradford must be a Michigan fan. Let me go back up and see what he says. I always like to see what Michigan fans have to say. I say a lot about them, so it's only right for them to retaliate against Pixie and Pete. Don't be a hater. Michigan will win out but fall flat in the playoffs. Sounds like you're hating a little bit too, though, sir. Kind of the pot calling the kettle black there a little bit, isn't it? So I don't disagree that Michigan, first of all, Michigan has the talent to win out. I said on yesterday's stream that Michigan right now looks like a better team than Ohio State does. If they played this weekend, if Michigan and Ohio State were playing this weekend, I would pick Michigan to beat Ohio State based on what I've seen the last couple of weeks. So I'm not completely hating on Michigan. I think Michigan's much improved. I'm not a believer in Michigan in the long haul. I'm not a believer in Jim Harbaugh playing against elite Big Ten talent. Obviously, we all know he has a losing record to his in-state rival Michigan State, hasn't beat Ohio State yet, and also has a losing record to Penn State over the past 3 years. So in order for me to buy into Jim Harbaugh and this team, I'm going to have to see a change in that pattern. And that pattern starts this week. We'll see what he does against Michigan State. And then, of course, we'll see what he does against Penn State and Ohio State. So I'm just not sold on Michigan as a national powerhouse right now. I'm sold on Michigan as being a much improved team compared to what they normally are. Pete, scroll up. I asked you a very interesting question. Okay, let me scroll up then. Let's see how interesting it really is. Now that you said it's interesting, it better be. Great answer, my dude. I'm satisfied you also spelled mashup. Huh? Was that it? Please tell me that wasn't it. Yeah. You're killing me, Smalls. I'll see you later, Tiger Nate. Thank you for stopping in, sir. I appreciate it. Lower than that question. Well, apparently, just copy and paste the son of a bitch. Post it again, sir, because I mean, obviously I'm not very good at finding it. Clem Tiger, prediction, USC Junior will not lose tomorrow. I'd be willing to bet pretty much everything I own. And, you know, maybe I'd even bet my wife on that. I mean, she probably wouldn't like me to say that, but I'd be willing to bet my wife that USC Junior will not lose tomorrow. I agree. Yeah, hit that like button. Clemson will take down their opponents. Easy work. NC State is easy work. I call it light work. Some people call it. Yeah, they'll beat them without a problem. It won't be close. I'll be calling that game, by the way. So for anybody who doesn't know already, even if you do know, I'm going to go ahead and tell you again anyway, just for the hell of it. I will be broadcasting that game live, play-by-play, and reaction, 3:30 p.m., Clemson versus NC State. Purdue will beat Ohio State tomorrow. Ohio State should be on upset alert. For sure. I'm getting a fantasy football update. Let's see what they're talking about here. Pigskin Pete. Will Fuller is benched in your lineup and is now listed as not injured. That's every single week. That's not news. Every day is a loss when you're a USC Junior fan. Yes. That goes without saying. If I were a USC Junior fan, I wish every week would be a bye week. That way I wouldn't have to watch my team lose. I'd be writing the NCAA asking for 12 bye weeks. A lot of people in here want Purdue to win. You know, that goes without saying. I mean, if you're not an Ohio State fan, you want Ohio State to lose. But believe me, everybody in the country outside of the state of South Carolina, and even some in the state of South Carolina, would love nothing more than to watch NC State beat Clemson tomorrow. Well, I'm here to tell you, not going to happen. What's up, Athletic Dash Hole? Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the stream. Wrong on Purpose. The artist formerly known as Drake Luke is in the house. Hey, that's a great game tomorrow, sir. I'm really looking forward to the Oregon game. What time does that come on? At 8 o'clock, I think? I hope so. I hope it doesn't come on earlier than that, because I'll be doing the Clemson game, obviously, at 3:30, and I want to see the Oregon game. I'm so fascinated with Oregon. I have this weird fascination with Oregon. I don't know where it comes from. I mean, I find myself Googling Oregon's players, and you'll go on YouTube to watch Justin Herbert. It's a weird obsession that I have with Oregon this year that I've never had before, and I don't even know where it came from. It's an odd thing. It's just one of those things. You know, it is what it is. Sorry, my phone's blowing up. Oregon at 7:30. Okay, good. Who has Oregon played? Now, Oregon's playing Washington State. And Washington State is a one-loss team, and Oregon's a one-loss team. This is a battle of the Pac-12 North. The winner of this game will win the North, because Oregon's already defeated Washington, and Stanford has 2 losses. Well, Stanford has 3 losses, right? Let's count them. Let's see how good Pixie and Pete's memory is. So Stanford lost to Notre Dame. Stanford lost to Utah. Does Stanford do they have any more losses than that? I can't remember. Stanford's 5-2. All right, so you'd have. Well, here's the good news, Drake Luke. So there basically be a 3-way tie there. I guess Stanford would probably still have the tiebreaker since they have the head-to-head against Oregon. But Stanford's going to lose another game. Stanford's not that good. They're massively disappointing and overrated this year. Off topic, does anybody know who is interested in joining the Army? I'm interested. Is the Army interested in taking 38-year-old out of shape YouTubers? If so, I'm in. One loss, and if Oregon loses, the University of Washington beats Stanford and Washington State. Well, that's a hell of a scenario. I think Oregon's a legit team. I think Oregon's legit. Now, do I think Oregon can compete in the playoff if they were to somehow get their way in there? I don't think Oregon could beat Clemson. I don't think Oregon could beat Alabama. You know who I think they could beat, though, is the team that everybody's giving all the praise to, the Golden Domers of Notre Dame. I think Oregon is a better team than Notre Dame. I think Oregon against Ohio State would be interesting. I really do. Oregon's really good. Justin Herbert is the real deal. As a matter of fact, when I get off this stream today, I'm going to go mow my yard. But after I mow the yard, I'm going to get on YouTube and watch Justin Herbert. I got to go. I got to get off. Guys, thank you. Thank you so much for stopping in. I know this stream was not planned, but I do have to go mow the yard before it gets dark and before my kids get home, and Mrs. Peete, which is the most important. So tomorrow, anybody who doesn't know, I'll be here on 3:30 tomorrow. Come check out the live stream against Clemson and NC State. One of two things is going to happen. Clemson's going to demolish NC State, and you'll see, I'll be happy, or it'll be a close game, and you can see me stress out and freak out live on YouTube. And either way, it should be great content. Sign up for the Patreon page. The link is in the description if you want to support the show. Also, hit the like button before you leave. If you've been watching the stream and you're not hitting the like button, I don't know what you're doing. Also, I don't know why you wouldn't be subscribing if you're watching it. I mean, what's the point? I mean, it's free to subscribe. It's free to like. So do that. Share it also on Twitter and Facebook and maybe even Instagram if that's possible. I don't know. I don't have Instagram. Tell your wife about it. Tell her friends about it. Tell your wife to tell her girlfriend's friends about it. Tell her to tell her girlfriend's husbands about it and their kids and their teachers. And if you get your hair cut today, also tell your barber about it because he could tell a lot of other people that don't already know. Shout it out from a mountaintop. Tattoo it on your forehead. If you tattoo it on your forehead, make sure you tattoo it backwards so that when you look in the mirror, it reads correctly. Thank you to all my moderators. Thank you to everybody else that stopped in. Thank you to all the haters. Thank you to all the lovers. Go to hell, NC State fans. I'm tired of you. And after this Saturday, I won't have to deal with you morons for another 364 days. Hopefully. Have a great day. Pigskin Pete, checking out.